Hello students, it's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's lecture. So, the topic for today is photoelectric effect. So, what is photoelectric effect? See, photo means the small bundles of energy which is present in the ray of light. Okay, they are called photons. So, when because of photon there is any effect on electron, this is called photoelectric effect. Effect of photon on electron is called photoelectric effect. Okay, so here there is the definition in front of you. When light of suitable frequency illuminates a metal surface, electrons are emitted from the metal surface. The phenomena is called photoelectric effect. So here one thing is very important. Okay, in the first line of definition is written when light of suitable frequency. Okay, in yesterday's video we have discussed it in detail that how energy depends on frequency. Energy E equals to h nu, where nu is frequency of the light ray. Okay, whatever light ray is coming, its frequency is nu, and energy depends on frequency. So if the light ray is having sufficient frequency, then only it is having the sufficient amount of energy, okay, which when electron will get, it will come out from the metal surface. If we send a ray of light, is incident on metal surface which is not having suitable frequency. Okay, that time whatever intensity the light ray is having, but electron will not emit. Okay, for the electron to emit, for the electron to leave the surface of metal, the frequency plays very important role. Okay, now let's see what is Hertz observation. So let's discuss Hertz observation about this. The phenomenon of photoelectric effect was discovered by Heinrich Hertz in 1887 while demonstrating the existence of electromagnetic waves. Hertz found that high voltage sparks passed across the metal electrodes of the detector loop more easily when the cathode was illuminated by ultraviolet light from an arc lamp. Okay, so it means that when we illuminate cathode by ultraviolet light, so because of the energy of photons present in light, the electrons get sufficient amount of energy so that they leave the cathode and they start moving towards electrode, okay, another electrode, and that's why we can see the spark there. Okay, the ultraviolet light falling on the metal surface caused the emission of negatively charged particles, which are now known to be electrons, into the surrounding space and hence enhance the light high voltage sparks. So initially when the scientists were observing that kind of phenomena, they were not knowing that which particle is emitted. Okay, but later on when they discovered about this, so they came to know that it is electron only. Then Hallward and Leonard's observation. During the years 1886 and 1902, Wilhelm Hallward and Philip Leonard investigated the phenomena of photoelectric emission in detail, which we will discuss in this chapter. So here in front of you, there is one figure to demonstrate the photoelectric effect. Okay, in this figure you can see here is one zinc plate. This zinc plate is connected to the electroscope. What is an electroscope? An electroscope is an instrument which detects the presence of electron. Okay, so zinc plate is connected to electroscope. So initially when there is no light, electroscope is not detecting anything. Okay, but when the ultraviolet light ray, okay, here you can see these are ultraviolet rays, when these ultraviolet rays illuminate the zinc plate, okay, so from the zinc plate some electrons get emitted and that electroscope detect the electrons. Okay, so by this demonstration the scientists were sure that with the help of light electrons can be emitted, because initially electroscope was not detecting anything, but when the light rays illuminate on zinc plate, then electroscope detect the electrons. So that means because of light electrons get emitted, which were detected by the electroscope. Okay, so here you can see 2-3 points are there for the observation. So he observed that the zinc plate become first uncharged if initially negatively charged. That means if zinc plate is initially negatively charged, so after the illumination of light it becomes uncharged. That means the negative charge went away somewhere. And what is the negative charge? Electron only. So by illuminating light on zinc surface, the electron get accelerated and left the surface, and that's why they become uncharged. Okay, second thing what they observe, positively charged if initially uncharged. If zinc plate was initially uncharged, after the illumination of light it becomes positively charged. When it becomes positively charged, that means negative charge has left the surface. Okay, because initially the plate was positive. Okay, sorry, initially the plate was uncharged. Uncharged means both the positive and negative charges were present there in same amount. Okay, but when the light illuminated the zinc plate, the negative charges, that is electrons, left the plate, and that's why it became positively charged only. Third, more positively charged if initially positively charged. So if initially the plate is positively charged, that means electrons are less in comparison with the positive charge, and after the illumination of light it becomes more positive. That means more number of electron left the surface. So by all these three observations, it is clear that by illuminating the surface by a suitable frequency light wave, electron left the surface of metal. Okay, here you can see one more diagram is there. So here there is one chamber. Okay, here one circle you can see. Inside this circle they have created vacuum, and then they placed two electrodes there. One electrode they connect to the negative end of the battery, another electrode they connected to the positive end of the battery. Okay, so one electrode becomes negatively charged, one electrode becomes positively charged. Okay, and both the electrodes were enclosed inside a glass chamber inside which vacuum was there. Okay, and why it was glass chamber? So that the light can go inside that. Okay, glass is a transparent medium through which the light can pass. So the light can pass through the glass and go to the cathodes. Because cathode is negatively charged, so that means number of electrons, that is number of negative charges, are more there. So when the ultraviolet light fall on the negative charge plate, okay, so we can see that one ammeter is connected there. Okay, in that ammeter we can see some amount of current. Okay, that ammeter detects some amount of current when the light illuminates the negative electrode. Okay, when no light was there, this instrument was not detecting any current, but when light illuminates negative electrode, so that time this ammeter was detecting the current. What does it indicate? It indicates that after the exposure of negative plate in front of light, electrons come out from the plate. Okay, and because the electrons are negative charge particles, so they get attracted towards the positive electrode. Okay, and after attraction they start moving from negative to positive electrode, and when they come to positive electrode the circuit is completed, and that's why we can detect current here. Okay, so the presence of current here is also showing that by the exposure of light, the negative electrode is releasing the electron, or the electrons are emitting from the plate. Okay, so this was again one demonstration to prove that yes, because of the light waves, electrons are coming out from the metal surface. So here in front of you, you can see one definition now. The phenomena of emission of electrons from a metal surface when electromagnetic radiations of sufficiently high frequency are incident on it is called photoelectric effect. Okay, and when we say electromagnetic radiation, it means light only. The photo, that is light, generated electrons are called photoelectrons. Okay, so after this photoelectric effect, whatever electrons becomes free, whatever electrons come out from the metal surface, those electrons are called photoelectrons. Okay, then different substances emit photoelectrons only when exposed to radiations of different frequencies. Alkali metals like lithium, sodium, potassium, cesium and rubidium are highly photosensitive. They emit electrons even with visible light. Okay, so with a very low frequency of light, all these alkali metals, okay, these one, they can emit light. But some metals are there like zinc, cadmium, magnesium, aluminum, etc. They respond only to ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet lights are having very high frequency, and that's why they are having very high energy. So some metals like these one, they respond only to ultraviolet light. Okay, and X-rays can eject electrons even from heavy metals, because X-rays are very high frequency rays. So that's why for from heavy metals also they can emit the electron. Okay, so different metal according to their nature of material, etc., and so many other thing, it depends what is the electronic configuration, how many electrons are present in outermost shell, with how much energy the electron is bounded to the nucleus. On all these things it depends that how much frequency of electromagnetic ray should be there, so that the electron will come out from the metal surface. Now let's discuss experimental study of photoelectric effect. So in this chapter basically we are going to read about photoelectric effect only. Okay, everything in detail. So here what we are going to discuss is intensity of light on photoelectric current, potential and photoelectric current, and frequency of incident radiation on stopping potential. So one by one I will tell you what is stopping potential, etc. Okay, so experimental study was done by Leonard and Millikan. Okay, here in front of you, you can see this is the arrangement for that study. Okay, in this arrangement, here you can see, okay, this is evacuated glass tube. Evacuated means inside the glass tube nothing is there, that means we have created vacuum. Okay, then inside these two electrodes are there, cathode and anode. Okay, cathode is connected to the negative terminal of battery and anode is connected to positive. Cathode is negative and anode is positive. So cathode will release the electron and anode will collect the electron. That's why anode is called collector here. Okay, and here we are having one quartz window. Okay, why quartz window is there? So that the sunlight can enter the chamber. Okay, here we are having mu ampere to measure the current. Here we are having voltmeter to measure the voltage, key, and it is high tension battery. HTB means high tension battery. And here we are having rheostat. With the help of rheostat we can vary the resistance of this circuit. Okay, so this is the experimental setup. Now I hope that what I have explained you in just previous slide, by that you can understand that what is going to happen now. So yes, from this window the sun ray is allowed to fall on this photosensitive plate which is called cathode here, and from that plate the electron will come out, and because we have applied some potential difference here, so it becomes A becomes a positive charge plate. So when the electron will come out from C, because of having negative charges, they all will move towards A, that is positive plate, and that's why we can detect some amount of current here. Okay. Now let's discuss what is the effect of intensity of light and on photoelectric effect. So here in front of you, you can see one graph is there, and if you understand how to study graph, okay, you can write the effect in your own words also. Okay, so here you can see on x-axis we have intensity of light, on y-axis we are having photoelectric current, and the graph between them is a straight line. So this straight line only tells us that the photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of light. Okay, so here in this experiment, as we increase the intensity of light, okay, the current detected by this mu ammeter also increases. Okay, so that's why we are getting a straight line. The photoelectric current directly depends on intensity of light. Okay. Okay, one more thing let me clear. Photoelectric current depends on intensity of light, but the emission of electron depends on frequency of light. Is it clear? So here you can see, if we allow radiations of a fixed frequency, because a particular frequency is always necessary. If frequency is not sufficient, so how much amount of intense wave you will send to the metal surface, no electron will get emitted. So if we allow radiations of a fixed frequency to fall on plate P, and the accelerating potential difference between the two electrodes is kept fixed, then the photoelectric current is found to increase linearly with the intensity of incident radiation. Okay, since the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the number of photoelectrons emitted per second, this implies that the number of photoelectrons emitted per second is proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. So this line you must remember. Okay, this line from here to here, very important point it is. Okay, very important point. The number of photoelectrons emitted per second is proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. Okay, see, what does intensity means? Intensity of a light ray means how many number of photon particles are present on light rays. Okay, if suppose in a light ray 10 photons are present, okay, so that, and they all are having a sufficient amount of frequency, na, that condition I am talking. So suppose in a light ray 10 photons are present. So when that light ray collide with metal surface, that 10 photons will get collided with the 10 electrons. So what will be the number of electrons which will come out from the metal surface? 10. Okay. If in a light ray 20 photons are present and that light ray fall on a metal plate, so 20 photons will collide with 20 electrons. So what will be the number of electrons coming out from the metal surface? 20. So I hope you are understanding what I am trying to explain here. If the number of photon is more in a light ray, they will collide with more electrons, and that's why the electrons coming out from the metal surface, their number will be more. Okay, and number of photon present in a ray is the intensity of that light ray. If the photons are more, we say that light ray is having more intensity. Okay, so number of photons are related to intensity of light. Okay, when we say high intensity, that means we are saying high number of photons are present there. So if the intensity of light increases, that means the number of photon present on light ray increases. So the number of electron coming out from the metal surface, that will also increases. and if more number of electron will come out, so obviously more current we will get. Okay, so the number of photoelectrons emitted per second is proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. Here we are talking about number of photoelectrons, not about their energy. Okay, because energy directly depends on frequency. The electron which is coming out from metal surface, their number depends on intensity, but how much energy they will possess, that depends on frequency. So let's now discuss effect of potential. So if we keep the intensity I1 and the frequency of incident radiation fixed and increase the positive potential. Okay, so here the intensity is fixed, frequency is fixed, and what is changing? Potential is changing here. So here you can see on the x-axis, both right hand side as well as left hand side, you can see it is written anode potential. Okay, when we say anode potential, that means potential at positive plate. Okay, and retarding potential means negative. Okay, negative value of that potential. So actually what happened, if the frequency and intensity of the light ray is fixed, so that way right now you ignore this part you ignore and pay the attention only on this part. So here you can see that initially what happened, with the anode potential the photocurrent will increase, and here you can see, here a little bit increase you can see in this region. Okay, and after that on this region the current becomes constant, approximately constant. So with increase in potential, a little bit increase in photocurrent is there, and after that it becomes constant. Okay, and here we have drawn three graphs for three different frequencies. Okay, this first one is for intensity I1. Okay, then again we have changed intensity and increased the intensity a little bit, made it I2, and again we increase the potential and see that how the current is changing. So for three different intensities, we have repeated that experiment. So when we have increased anode potential, we have seen that photocurrent initially increases and then become constant. Okay, but one more thing we have observed, that whatever intensity the light ray is having, the stopping potential for all the rays is same. Okay, here three intensities are there, I1, I2 and I3. Three intensities are there, but you can see all the intensities ray, their current is stopping at one particular point. Okay, at one particular value of voltage the photocurrent is becoming zero, and whatever the intensity of the ray is there, but the current becomes zero, and that value of potential difference is called stopping potential. So name only suggests stopping potential means which is stopping the current. Okay, so this is called stopping potential, that potential at which the photocurrent becomes zero, that is called stopping potential. So here you can see the definition of stopping potential here. Okay, the value of the retarding potential at which the photoelectric current becomes zero is called cutoff or stopping potential for the given frequency of the incident radiation. Okay, and clearly the stopping potential does not depend on intensity, it only depends on frequency. Why it does not depend on intensity? Because here in this graph we have seen that whatever intense ray you will take, but stopping potential will be same for all the rays. Okay, here you can see all the three rays are having same stopping potential, so it doesn't depend on intensity. So for today this is it. Some more facts, some more things related to photoelectric effect we will discuss in next lecture. So see you in next lecture. Till then, goodbye, take care, do some productive work, and the most important thing, Be healthy, be safe.